Okay, people, so guess what I found? Yeah, right there. There is a skunk right there, people. Oh my gosh, there's a cup here. Look, there is 2 skunks. Yeah. I'm on top of the stairs, they're over there. Showing. Request. Oh yeah. I just don't want to get moved. Next one I see. Look, oh, right there. You can see it. Oh, yeah, there's the other one. What? These skunks are fast. The only thing about skunks is that they spray. Yeah, you can kind of see them. I know, right there. It's right there. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be fine. Oh. Yeah, right there. What if they just missed? But yeah. There they are. I was just trying to get William dusting these. Guys. Let's do this out. Bye. Have a good night. And good night. Okay. July 24th of 2022. I have court tomorrow at 10 in the morning on the computer. Okay? But before we talk about that, the first thing I want to say is I went at the end of April to an eye clinic that said if I came in that day, they would make the referral for my eyes ASAP. However, they were going to close for a month, right? Because of renovations. But they promised me that they would do the referral. And they said, sure, come in, right? So I went in. The eye doctor said that I had late-stage glaucoma and I guess cataracts. And that he was going to do a referral. They didn't do the full series of tests because he didn't want to disrupt. He didn't want to, agitate my eyes. He didn't do the full series test. He only just did a little bit and, right, can you see me? No, I can't. Oh, okay, late stage glaucoma, right? Whatever. So, then comes April, May. Halfway through May, I don't hear nothing. So I call back. And I let them know that the glasses that they gave me were no good. Although I think I could use them if I'm watching, like, the laptop or something. But anyway, besides that point, and I asked them about the referral. Hold on. Okay. Talking about my eyes, right? Now, you have to remember, this all immigrants work there. Okay? And not only do they work there, but they refer people on income social assistance like me under that Medicaid, Medicare, right? Pharmacare, whatever they call it, to specific doctors to deal with you if you're like an eye specialist, right? It's not like you can just go randomly and go find one. I've discovered that. Anyway, so I phoned back and they're saying that the referral hadn't been done. Like, what was the point of me going there that day when I went, when they told me that they would put the referral in? That was the last thing I said. I said, when I left, I reminded them, I said, you're going to put the referral in. They said, yes. Month and a half later, I phoned back finding out, did they put because nobody's calling me, right? They said that the referral hadn't been put in yet, that the doctor didn't do it. Oh, but they're going to call me back the next day to make sure that, let me know that they've done it. So they call me back the next day and they say, oh, it was done today. Whenever that was. And I'm still waiting, people. I'm still waiting. And as I'm waiting, I took the time 2 days ago or whatever it was to look up, specialists online for British Columbia, Canada. I managed to get through one doctor's office where somebody answered the phone, because I called a couple and nobody would answer the phone. And basically, because what I'm asking, this is what I'm asking, to speed up the process, at least be prepared for it. It's not like I can afford it, but anyway, I'm asking, because there's 3 types of lenses, and the government pays for the cheapest of the cheap, right? I want the best of the best because I can't afford to lose any more time because I have too much responsibilities, right? So I can't afford to have mistakes done, right? And if there's a better lens, that would be best suited for me, considering my circumstances. And I asked him how much it was. And if my, I think it's called Pharmacare out here, covered a part of it, and if I could pay the rest, and what the difference would be. So if the government only pays $300, but it's $1,500 or $2,000 for the lenses, I'd have to pay the difference, but at least I'd get what would be best for me. The receptionist says, no, you don't get to do that. You get what the government pays for, nothing less and nothing more. And that's the only thing that this guy would do. I said, you got to be kidding me. So in that situation, you'd be forced to get the minimal health care. Even if you wanted to go and get better health care and was willing to try and find a way to pay for it, they deny you of that. That makes me think of, they can call fake investigations, do all this other shit, deny you the right to identify your dead daughter's body, even though you're not even supposedly 10 feet away from it, assuming that it was really dead, the body. Maybe she was unconscious. Who knows? Maybe she was conscious. I don't know. I'll never know, people. And then run off and do an autopsy as an investigation just so that you could pillage the body and prep it for something else as you continue to lie to the family. And then when the family wants to have an independent autopsy, even in just thought by itself, in terms of, it's not like I can afford to have one done, but it would be nice to know that I had the opportunity to be able to have that done if I wanted to, considering the situation, to which I do. I want my daughter Sierra's body exhumed from that fucking tomb that she's in. I want to open it up and see if there's even a body in it, people. Okay? But in British Columbia, Canada, you can't do that because it's illegal. You can't have an independent autopsy because the government took that away from the people a long time ago. You can't exhume bodies out here because they don't want to have it uncovered as to what's inside those caskets, which is probably nothing because we've got a lot of fucking body snatchers out here, people. So it's the same thing with the eyes. You're only allowed your $300 quota. That's it. That's all. Now, mind you, that was only one doctor's office that I talked to. But it's already starting, with the door being shut in my face as I'm still waiting for a referral that I was told I was going to get on April 31st, to which it never happened. And when it did happen, nothing's coming from it. Right? As I've got ranky fucking paramedics in multiples showing up at my house, having pissing contests and trying to implode my house from the inside out. just so that they can protect their fucking dirty asses with their perfusion machines and their hammocks as they're going around body snatching bodies, whether dead or alive. Because you can't believe them. In terms of the diagnoses. Oh, she's alive. Are you sure? Are you really sure? Oh, she's dead. Oh, really? Are you sure? Which one is it? Was SHAMAY really dead? Or was she just paralyzed? Doesn't really matter. Because they illegally embalmed her in the hospital 7 hours after it arrived. And that was after they took out what they wanted. And I don't think they were done with the body. I really don't. Considering the technology that these freaks fucking play with these days. When it comes to chimera and robotoids and all this other crap that they do. So I'm sitting here like a sitting duck. Every week it's getting worse. I've been saying it. You know, the pressure's being piled on. And then to add even more pressure, my son's running around acting like I don't know what. Like I don't even have a son as far as I'm concerned. He's worse than Brooks. I've never had anybody in my whole fucking life do what my son and his girlfriend is doing to me right now, people. And I tallied up the numbers in terms of how many people I've had in this house since I've lived here. And she's number 13. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss anybody. In terms of actually physically living in this house for any length of time. And that's including my grandkids. Okay? I got only 3 ways to go here, people. I'm either going to die, and that's it. Poof, I'm gone. Nothing moves except me. All right? Or I'm going to go completely blind, and they're going to have to put me in some fucking old folks' home so I can become the next government's test subject. Like a long-term care facility where a blind person would sit with a bunch of old people because there's nowhere else to put them because my kids abandoned me. Okay? Basically. Because I'm sure in the hell not going to live with my fucking son. I'm not. I'm just not. And whatever negative energy that I got around me, I'm not taking it to Tisha. I'm not. I'll fucking walk away. That's my third choice. I'll walk away and I'll go to fucking Sums, which is the homeless shelter. Are you listening to me? And I will sit in that fucking homeless shelter. And I will file another fucking lawsuit with my $360 welfare check. Something that Sierra should have done when Sierra was alive. For the bullshit that the government and their fucking employees and their partner groups like the Punjabis bring to the community when it comes to mayhem, harm, and injury. And life will go on. Life will go on because right now my life is being fucking trashed. Trashed by a shitty fucking girl that moved into my house with a bad fucking attitude like a Joan Duncan. Yep. I called her out on it today. This morning. I said, you think the way my son is treating me, he ain't gonna treat you that same way one day? Oh yeah. But I won't care because I won't be there to see it. But you see, the thing is, I had a dream about this girl already, people. I already had a fucking dream. I told my son. I told my son about the dream. This is a fucking setup. It's just another fucking setup. Julian was a fucking setup with SHAMAY. Okay? Those people came from Alberta scoping out the neighborhood for their fucking victims. And SHAMAY was a victim. She's still a victim. Same thing. Same thing. She set him fucking up. And he's going to end up crying over it. I told him. You watch. Because something don't feel fucking right here. And of course, she's blaming my son, you know. Because Marquin's trash in the basement. He's clearing out the fucking basement, people. Everything's just piling up in the fucking garage. As he's guilt-tripping me along the way. Being a bully. And then being two-faced, and then pretending, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just under pressure, you know, and then it doesn't get his own way, or wants to be a fucking bully, turns into the green-eyed monster. Like, fuck that shit. Well, that girl's just running around smirking to herself. Just literally smirking to her fucking self. I told her this morning, well, why don't you go to your fucking parents' house and start throwing out their shit? Go trash your parents' fucking house, see what your parents do. But you see, they're getting something out of it, people. Somewhere along the line, you watch in the next couple fucking years, they're going to get something out of it. And it will be the demise of my son. That's what's going to end up happening here. And my house. Because it's that mindset. It's not as all sweet and innocent and, oh, let's have a life together. For crying out fucking loud, you came off the fucking internet. You had an agenda before you even put your profile up on the fucking internet. Makes me think of Tammy. Tammy, and what happened to Tammy's son? If you're watching Tammy, right? What happened to your son with some fucking girl that imported herself into your son's life to what? Videotape something stupid that potentially killed him? Tammy didn't benefit from that shit, but that fucking girl did. Well, I feel the same kind of way right now. Well, you come into my house, you just start packing up my shit because my son told you to, and you've got nothing to say about it? Yeah, okay. What does that say about you? Well, go take my son to your parents' house and let my son start packing up your parents' fucking shit. And you tell your parents to shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of their own fucking house. Okay? No, you won't do that because you got Marcaine doing that to me. Don't tell me this girl is innocent. There's nothing innocent about this fucking girl, and that's why I had that dream, people. So where am I going? As I'm being pushed out of my house and trashed and mistreated and abused and stalked by fucking paramedics yet. I'll just go to Sums and I'll sit there, homeless, broke, familyless, no family. Tisha will be, come on, Mom. And I'll be like, fuck off. Leave me alone. Go live your life. Go live your fucking life, Marcaine. Go live your fucking life. And I'll go to the courthouse, people, and I'll file another fucking lawsuit. I won't have no evidence because that would have been destroyed. Everything that the government would want. Right? That's why they call in the big dogs, right? The fucking paramedics to just, you know, shake shit up. Just shake it up, right? Just a little fucking shake it up some more. Well, you got some fucking she-devil in the basement plotting and scheming her next move. Playing like she's the fucking victim. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why you don't want to fucking talk about it. So anyway, court. Can't see. It's worse to read than it was before, as if I have any time or energy or inclination to read anything at this point with all this shit going on in the fucking house. Right? Well, I should say garage. Well, house, yeah. House. I'm being evicted from my fucking house. How about that? Everything my landlords are just waiting for. And yay! Yay! Who's gonna harvest next? I'm just waiting for it, people. I'm just fucking waiting for it. So anyway, I noticed, I'm not going to try and look at it because I can't see it. But I did take the time to, well, I'm trying to organize, get ready for tomorrow, right? I'm going to have to go off the top of my head in terms of the Community Assisted Living Act, the Healthcare Act, the Patient Property Act, the Consent and Something Else Reform Act, and that kind of stuff, and the Criminal Code of Canada. But they're not even focusing on any of that because they're using the power of attorney, because I'm the one that submitted that as an actual act from 2016 to back up, I guess you could say, everything that I submitted to them and all that paperwork. But what they did is they broke up, they broke it up and they inserted it. Oh, I don't even want to look at it. They inserted it in between the paperwork. I don't know. I can only assume what they're thinking, right? So I figure when they start talking, they'll, because they changed the numbers, you know, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way, right? 1, 2, 3, and then the next page is 30. Something, 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 you know, 30, 31, 32, because they took the Power of Attorney Act and they inserted it in between my papers to break it up so that they could say, well, for example, I don't know what section it is outside, because, you know, I don't have time to study this shit, never mind be able to see it, people. They're going to try, I think one of their moves is they're going to try and, because I have that living will with Uncle John from Fraser Health, like right on the 17th, because of what they were doing with saying that he was going somewhere else by any means necessary before he'd even have a chance to come home and say goodbye to everybody, right? And that it was, you know, a slam dunk for that screechy freaking British import visa working social worker, right? She was going to get her own way by any means necessary. So we did that living will. We didn't need to, people. But we did it just because, one, I was doing videos to keep up with, just like I'm fucking talking about what's going on in the fucking house right now, okay? You think I want to talk about my shit being out fucking in garage and I'm being mistreated like I'm a piece of shit? Well, I got some I don't know what viper in my house now, worse than a Joan Duncan, a fucking viper. Joan didn't even do this to me. Anyway, in that section, it says that the power of attorney isn't supposed to write the will. I think they're going to try and use that because of the way they inserted it into whatever, right? I don't know. Like, why would they break it up like that and then switch the numbers around if they weren't going to use that as a reference to specifically, I suppose, hone in on something, to which the only thing that I can think of that would apply to would be that living will, right? But it was more of a statement than it was a living will, because John already had a will from 1998. And there was, the only thing that was valuable was Uncle John. That's all, people. He gave up his superannuation life insurance policy at age 65. They took him when he was 76. Okay? And as soon as he died, the minute he would die, his pensions would stop. There would be nothing left. Just stop. There was no extra residue to tap into. That was the kind of plan that he chose when the government gave him 3 choices, when they pulled out the rug from under the union, under the public union sector, and started union busting. They came in, the BC Liberal government came in 2001 and started union busting in 2002, 2003. Okay? They disenfranchised all the janitors within the system and brought them in under contracts after they paid out the existing long-term pensioners like Uncle John. and they gave them choices. John said, I know what my family's like. I don't want them to come in and ruin your house. So after age 65, no more superannuation. Because before age 65, the government was paying into it. After age 65, he would have had to continue paying the $40 a month or whatever it was for that premium. And he said no, because he's seen what his family, his sisters, and his brother did to Joan's mother and everyone else in that fucking clan that had assets because they were government employees. And they got robbed by their family members. So Uncle John put the fucking brakes on that crap. And the plan also said that when he died, didn't matter if it was age 66 or 76. That was it. There were no more payments. There wasn't no more, oh, well, gee, he's still got a little extra money sitting there. Let's cash in on that. Maybe he didn't get the superannuation life insurance policy, but he got this little extra in there because of the type of plan that he took in 2002. No, that was it. It was done. Over. Gone. Duncan clan didn't know anything about that, people. But John and I, we knew. And that's why we did the living will, because he wanted to come home. We wanted him home. And we wanted to know what the hell was going on with his medical records. Not just me, but he wanted to know. The paperwork speaks for itself. Let the freaking Duncan clan produce the fucking paperwork for at least 23 years, if not more, in terms of everything that I did over the years. You see, Uncle John taught me things that I would never ever been able to see, people, unless he asked me to go through the motions. In terms of how the government really operates when it comes to the laundering of public tax dollars to prop up the public union sector as a whole with their pension plans and all these benefits and blah, 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 blah. You know, their buyout packages and just everything. If he would not have been in my life, I would not have seen that. And I'd be ignorant to the corruption within itself in terms of just the general process. But, you know, with money comes greed, right? And clearly, John seen that long before I ever freaking met him, because he put the brakes on the greed. The only thing is the government's not doing their job and protecting the Uncle Johns from the predators in the community, whether it's their own freaking family members like mine, right? You know, we all get robbed in different ways. At the end of the day, it's still robbery, right? I would have been better off, people, to have a fucking stranger move in my house and have him steal from me than have my whole fucking house evicted. Well, half my house. As I'm being trashed and abused physically, like not physically, but emotionally and, you know, verbally through this process. Because my son feels like he has a right just to be a fucking asshole while he does this shit. And then when he shows a little remorse, he thinks I will immediately forgive him. Because oh, I'm sorry, Mom. Yeah, but then, you know, not soon after, he turned back into the green-eyed monster. Like, fuck off. Be careful what you ask for, because you just might fucking get it. Right? So it's not like I can really focus on what's going on with this court stuff, because one, I can't even really see it. Two, you know, my life is like imploding from the inside out with a fucking viper that moved in, basically. Right? So I can see them trying to say something like that just by the way they put the paper in. But, you know, like, it's going to be a setup, people. It's a fucking, it's everywhere around, everything around me is a fucking setup right now. The paramedic was a fucking setup. Okay, what's going on in the fucking basement and all that shit was a fucking setup. That was my fucking dream. Okay, that's what my dream told me. It's a fucking setup. First of all, it's way too fucking weird. Okay? And it's not being helpful. Not at all. And if this is the way it's going to be, you don't want help from this camp. Right? I can't ask for help with Amari and all this. No way. No way. You're going to do this to me and then you're going to honestly help me with being whatever with Amari? Fuck that shit. No. No, 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 no. No. So anyway, back to the court. The other part there, like I'm reading and I'm trying to figure out what they're thinking in terms of how they're, because they're going to use the Power of Attorney Act to throw out the whole lawsuit. Yeah, okay. Right? They'll talk for an hour and a half just on that, and then they'll bring in their case law to justify it, people. Huh. So, if Uncle John would have had lots and lots and lots and lots of money in terms of, you know, he lived in comfort, then whatever power of attorney that I had in terms of power, quote unquote, power of attorney, right, you know, would have been more intricate in terms of, you know, we'd have like a broker and like that kind of thing, right? Doing Uncle John's bidding in terms of investments and, right? And then I'd, you know, relay that information to him or whatever, right? But it wasn't like that, people. He was a poor man that was just living on the edge. And once he died, that was it. That chapter of his life would have been closed. Okay? So it's not like him and I had to have whatever we were doing over a period of all those years, set up where we had a vault, you know, a safe with a, you know, right, and our guard, what are you, armed guards guarding the vault, right? You know, what I'm trying to say is, I learned to do taxes, John's taxes and my taxes, a long time ago, just by trying to save money for the house. So I did taxes for years. I didn't always do them on time, but I was the one that did them. And then when Joan moved in, I ended up doing Joan's taxes. And then I ended up doing John and Joan's taxes because by that time she's living with John. So he claimed her as a dependent. So I'm doing taxes. And then she went to the care facility, and then it, right, became, right? So would the power of, would the government see that as going against the Power of Attorney Act because I didn't go off and hire HR Block? Let's just use that as an example because I'm trying to understand their angle in terms of how they're going to try and say that there was something in there that I couldn't do under the Power of Attorney Act, so therefore it removes everything. Okay? And the judge can throw it out, right? Because of that one sentence. Well, maybe two in two parts of the Power of Attorney Act. As they ignore everything else, right? So, you know, with me by doing our taxes all those years so that I could save money, so that we had, you know, for the house, whatever the needs were at that time, is the government going to use that as an excuse to say that I didn't have Power of Attorney Act when in fact I thought I did have that right to do that because I didn't take it to HR block? I'm just using that as a simple little example of what their angle could be based on that, what we did on YouTube. But I'm a YouTuber, right? That runs in the truther movement. Only I run in the truther movement in a different kind of way. Right? So you have to keep up with the story, you know, in terms of as it unfolds, right? Whether bad or good. And there was a lot of bad shit going on at that time when they had him in that freaking care facility and in the hospital, people. And the government's going to try and cover it up when they should be investigating it. Yeah. So, I don't know. My life is spiraling down. I don't know if you've noticed that. I know some people are waiting for that to happen and are encouraging it to happen. Right? For different reasons. Too many reasons to count. So I'm just going to go about my day. I'll try not to worry about this court thing tomorrow. If they throw it out, I'm just going to file another one. I'm not even going to get stressed out about an appeal, people, because the last time I did the appeal, what happened? They told me I could only have three pages. Well, first, I couldn't appeal. I couldn't put the application in for the appeal until I either paid the $200 or I took it and, you know, and got my fees waived. I chose to try and get my fees waived. That judge turned it into a mini trial and sent me to the cops and refused to approve my waiver of fees so that I couldn't appeal it. So why the hell would I try and do that again? Andrew comes in with that much, and I'm only allowed 3 papers. 3 pages, that's it. So before I'd spend the $200 on an appeal, I'd take that $200 and I'd file another fucking lawsuit. Just like time is their weapon, time is my weapon. And if I end up fucking sitting up at fucking Sums because I walked away from this rotten, stinking fucking house, pretty much, with the rotten, stinking fucking people that live in it, well, I'll be sitting there at Sums, knowing that sooner or later I'll have another court date. Only next time when I'm doing court, I'm sitting around a bunch of fucking homeless people with me. Because it's not like I can go to the courthouse and stand in front of the judge, right? They want you to do it online. So I guess I'll be doing it at Sums with everybody watching. Yeah. And by then, they'll be like, well, where's your documents? I'll say, well, there's like 10 boxes sitting there in the fucking courthouse. Go pull them up. Because I'll make sure they're fucking filed before that fucking happens, in terms of once I walk away from this fucking house, whether I'm pushed out, walk out, whatever it is, people, that those documents will be at the courthouse. And being that I'm poor, sitting in a homeless shelter, right? How are they going to deny me the right to pull up my own fucking documents that are sitting in their own fucking courthouse? Okay? Why are you going to pay $200 for an appeal when they're just going to jack you off anyway? You might as well take that $200 and start another fucking lawsuit. Yeah. And don't be stupid. Don't go in front of a fucking crooked judge that's just going to turn you away anyway, in terms of wavering your fees.